Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night, and we begin with that monster hurricane gaining strength in the Atlantic and tracking toward Florida tonight. The strongest hurricane since Wilma in more than a decade in the Atlantic. At this hour, Irma is already approaching the Caribbean islands before heading toward the U.S. mainland. Right now, a powerful Category 5 storm, winds 185 miles an hour. The storm, you can see right there, the eye perfectly formed nearly every mile tonight, showing it headed toward Florida and several states to the north. This evening, Florida is already in a state of emergency, families preparing for a potentially catastrophic storm. Some evacuations already underway. And so first up tonight, Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z with the newest track out. And Ginger, where is Irma now? Ginger, thanks for leading us off again tonight. As you mentioned, Florida officials are sounding the alarm. Mandatory evacuations have already begun in the Keys tonight. The governor now urging the people of his state, the entire state, to be prepared. The track making all the difference, but either scenario, as we just mentioned, almost all of Florida in the crosshairs. ABC's Alex Perez is there tonight.
Tonight, long lines, bare shelves, and frayed nerves.
It's very important that everybody in our state gets prepared.
And take a look here at this Publix grocery store where all the sports drinks and water would be. The shelves almost already completely empty. People scooping up what they can when they can.
Have to be prepared as much as possible.
For some, Harvey's destruction in Texas is fueling the fear.
I saw what happened in Houston, 4 feet of rain. They're saying this storm's going to be worse.
Well, I'd say we're not ready. No one is ever ready for a Category 5 hurricane.
In the 25 years since Hurricane Andrew, construction has boomed in Florida.
Alex Perez live in Miami tonight. And Alex, we've seen evacuations already for the Florida Keys issued today. What are authorities right there in Miami saying tonight?
Well, David, officials here are saying evacuations in Miami-Dade could start as early as tomorrow. They are also reminding people to do things like take pictures of their important documents, refill prescriptions, and, of course, very important, have a spare or alternative power supply for your cell phone. David?
All right, Alex Perez in Miami for us tonight. Alex, thank you. And this evening, into the evening hours, in fact, some of the islands already in Irma's path. Puerto Rico gets hit tomorrow, and they are expecting the worst storm there in nearly a century. ABC's Lindsay Janis with the urgent effort tonight to get prepared in San Juan.
Puerto Rico also in Irma's path. The National Weather Service says it hasn't seen a storm of this magnitude in nearly 100 years. Here in Puerto Rico, it is a race against time to prepare for Irma. Every hour counts. The governor saying the decisions we make in the coming hours could be the difference between life and death.
That's right, David. The governor here just spoke. He said the latest forecast show the eye of Irma is closer to this island. Those first dangerous winds expected by early tomorrow. He is warning the results could be catastrophic. As for those leeward islands, they are expecting hurricane-force winds.
Ending the DACA program, saying Congress must now decide the fate of the so-called dreamers, 800,000 young undocumented immigrants brought here by their parents. It wasn't the president, but the attorney general who made the announcement, sparking protests and arrests across the country. Tonight, the president saying he has a great love for the dreamers. Here's ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega.
Tonight, protests from the White House to Trump Tower to Denver, Colorado, students marching out of class.
I'd love hopefully now Congress will be able to help them and do it properly.
But from his attorney general, a strikingly different tone, calling the so-called dreamers, quote, illegal aliens who take American jobs.
We cannot admit everyone who would like to come here.
Tim Cook saying more than 250 of our Apple co-workers may soon find themselves cast out of the only country they've ever called home. But from the White House, no guarantee the dreamers won't be deported.
The president says that dreamers won't be a priority for enforcement, but that's not a guarantee of protection. Is this White House willing to offer one?
Those are certainly, again, they're not a targeted priority, but the goal here is that Congress actually fixes the problem.
Dreamers like Jesus Contreras are terrified. A paramedic in Houston who rescued people from the Harvey floodwaters, now he is looking at an uncertain future.
I am disappointed that the president, as a man of God and as a man of faith, did not keep his word, which was to keep us DACA recipients at ease, and it's saddening. It's terrible.
And Naomi Lopez has lived in this country since she was 13.
And Cecilia, tonight, former President Obama, who has weighed in so rarely on this administration, sending a message.
David, he said he would only weigh in on this administration when he felt like our core values as a country are at stake. Well, today he said this move to rescind DACA is cruel, wrong, and self-defeating. David, he said ultimately this is about basic decency.
Cecilia Vega with us from the White House. Cecilia, thank you. And so next year, a reality check. What are the chances Congress will act on the Dreamers to protect them with this new action taken by the president? ABC's Mary Bruce back on the Hill for us.
With the fate of the Dreamers now in their hands, tonight Congress is bracing for a bruising fight.
Here's the deal. The Congress is going to have to up its game.
Dreamers today have any confidence that this time around you'll be able to get this done?
DACA is about to expire. We need to act on this or we know the consequences or a countdown clock to deportation.
Get it done. Mary Bruce with us live from Capitol Hill tonight. And Mary, how realistic, though, is it with that list you just showed us that Congress could actually tackle immigration and the Dreamers with everything else on the list?
Yeah, David, this is a tall order. 6 months is not a lot of time, especially up here. Now, top Republicans I've talked with say if the president wants them to protect Dreamers, he's got to get involved, work the phones, tell them specifically what he's willing to sign so Congress can get to work. David.
Mary Bruce live on the Hill for us. Thank you, Mary. We turn next to North Korea after its powerful nuclear bomb test tonight, promising more, quote, gift packages for the United States. That threat, as concerns are now growing that the North is preparing for another intercontinental ballistic missile test. ABC's chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran, reporting in from Seoul, South Korea tonight.
Today, a show of firepower off the Korean coast. The South Korean Navy conducting live fire exercises, while south of Seoul, more advanced U.S.-made anti-missile batteries were being deployed. Song Ho showing us his family photos, his relatives in the north, saying it's about family for Koreans, not politics, and sending an emotional message to the White House. I plead with President Trump, he says, to stop talking tough and to move towards a peaceful resolution.
Russian President Vladimir Putin now with a warning for the U.S. to tone down the rhetoric.
That's right, David. President Putin suggesting that belligerence isn't going to work with the North Koreans. He says they will eat grass before they give up their nuclear program, and he urged dialogue to solve this crisis. David?
Terry, more ahead on World News Tonight this Tuesday. The wildfires in the West, the new warnings tonight. The major fire growing in size, crossing state lines now.